Leadership is solving problems. The day people stop bringing you their problems is the day they have either lost confidence that you can help or concluded that you don't care. The three most important words a leader needs to hear are, I need help.
Communication is a pretty important part of leadership, would you agree? So what do you think the most important part of communication is? What do you think? Matt? Listening. Listening to the men and women that you're working with, in particular to the customer. Colin Powell. Leadership is solving problems. The day soldiers stop bringing you their problems is the day they've either lost confidence that you can help or concluded that you do not care. Concluded that you do not care. When you listen and lead and have compassion for the men and women in your lives, that's how you can win. 1991. I was in Randolph Air Force Base, Texas. Any Texans in the room? There you go. They're like, yes, I am. I'm from Texas. Obviously, I'm not from Texas. I'm from Alabama, in case you couldn't tell from my accent. I was stationed at Randolph Air Force Base, Texas. Beautiful, universal city. And I was late for a briefing one day. And when you're late for a combat military briefing, there has always got to be a consequence. And for my squadron that year, the consequence was a hot and steamy 12-pack of Krispy Kreme donuts. And I went and picked up those donuts. Knowing that I was going to be late, I ran to the briefing room, knocked on the door. They opened it up. I threw the donuts in, and they ran at it like scavengers and tore them up. And I went and sat down, knowing that I wasn't going to fly that day. I was really upset. It was a beautiful day, beautiful Texas. And 15 minutes later, my flight commander and everybody else started going out to their briefing rooms, ready to go on their missions. And the last person out of that room was my flight commander. Now, this is no ordinary flight commander, folks. He was 5'5", really, really stocky build, state wrestling champion, Kelly Savalas Bald. And his call sign was Psycho. And here comes Psycho making a beeline for me, and he's walking up towards me. What's going on, Waldo? Psycho, sorry I was late, man. Won't happen again. So I said, all right, Waldo, listen, man, this isn't like you. You're never late. Is everything okay at home? You need a day off? Seriously. Talk to me. I'm like, Psycho, listen, man. I screwed up. My alarm went off. Won't happen again. It's like, that's all right, Waldo. Let me know if you need something from me. Push it up. And he never mentioned a thing about it. Do you think I thought he cared about me? Do you think he realized that I might have had a life outside of the fact that I was a fighter pilot in that squadron? That I might have had issues that have taken precedence over flying that mission that day? How many folks, by raise of hands, have issues and lives outside of work? By raise of hands, right? Isn't it nice to know that you work with someone in your company, a coworker or a supervisor, who acknowledges that? Well, how do you think my loyalty was to Psycho after he acknowledged my humanity first and the fact that I was a fighter pilot second? What do you think, Mike? Think I wanted to push it up with him? Think I wanted to sweat more in peace and come in and work 12, 14, 16 hours, whatever it took? And how do you think it affected the rest of the folks in my squadron, man? How do you think it affected them?
I think it made them feel good to know that he had that compassion for you, he had for them.
It made them feel good that he had compassion for me, because he would probably have compassion for them as well. And he did. He led that way with everybody. You think they wanted to push it up and put more time and effort in? And they saw Waldo coming in. I was fired up and making it happen. Attitude is contagious, isn't it? Performance is contagious. And guess who ultimately benefited for the fact that we were putting in more hours, prepared to go to battle and become better fighter pilots? Who do you think benefited at the end of the day? Who? Psycho benefited, obviously, because he cared about it. He was a leader. It made him feel good. The country did. Thank you very much. Our customer. And that's the impact that you can have on the reputation of the marine retailing industry and all the dealerships out there. By building loyalty and comradeship within your organization, within your company. Everybody's going to have a better attitude. Everybody's going to want to push it up. And the customer is always going to win. And that's what the beauty about leadership is. When you do something as small as listening and caring about each other, that's how you can turn relationships into revenue and win in this competitive environment. Can I hear push it up, folks? All right.